I'm here with Mad Dog Knives, Jake and Kevin. Welcome to Utah.
All right, so we're going to talk about steel first. This is what we use these days. It's Presco 01. It's American-made steel. It's a high-carbon tool steel, so it's oil hardening. It is a high-carbon, low-chrome steel, so it can corrode. That's why we end up hard chroming all of our blades, because the hard chrome makes them much more corrosion resistant. So if they corrode anywhere, it's just going to be on the edge, which you're going to sharpen and debris that corrosion.
Sure.
Anyway,
is there an advantage to hard chroming versus like a powder coating or a
hard chrome is an industrial bearing quality surface, and powder coating or anything like that can wear off, and it also makes the blade stickier while it's cutting through things, especially when you're cutting through harder things like hardwoods and stuff like that. It just doesn't work out well. With a hard chrome finish, we get an excellent quality finish, because our roughest finish we're grinding down to 30 microns, and then bead blast and then hard chrome. So we end up with a really, really nice, smooth, consistent finish. You can see the temper line in our blades because they're all selectively tempered. It's super, super durable and very, very corrosion resistant, which is one of the many reasons that I won the contest for the Navy SEAL knife in 1992. That's what really put me on the map as a knife maker, is when the SEALs adopted my knife above 26 other competitors, including Buck, Gerber, Schrade, Puma, whoever. They all wanted to get that knife, but I got it. And I was a guy working in a 2-car garage. This steel comes into us as precision ground flat stock. When we get it out of the corrosion resistant wrapper, it looks like this. So you've got a really nice, smooth, straight piece of steel, and it's got some little boo-boos on it and stuff just from being slid around on gritty surfaces, stuff like that. And then we put Dychem, tool and die maker's ink, on one side of the blade. And as you can see here, we've scribed patterns onto here. This is for a super bug. So these will get a hole drilled here just for handling purposes, and then this will get cut out on the bandsaw, and then all the straight lines will get refined on a milling machine so that they're perfectly smooth and straight and flat, and they're all consistent with what we want our pattern to be. When it's bandsaw cut, it'll have an edge that looks like that all the way around it. So that's why we'll regrind that and machine all this so it's very concise and consistent. For each given knife, we've got particular tang size that makes the balance go correctly on the knife once we've got the handle on it. They have to be consistent, and the biggest thing that we use the CNC machine for in the shop is just to cut out the inlets in the handle material, cut out the guards and cut out the inlet and the handle material, so they're very concise and very close. After these blades are cut out and they're blanked, they're going to look more like this. This is a cutout blank that's partially ground right now. We've just set the bevels on this, and that's all done on a 4-inch belt grinder like that one. You can see there's a scribe line up here. You see that? You see same basic kind of tang. So these are square to the spine of the blade. So this is the spine, the clip, the belly, the edge area, and this is going to be the choil. It hasn't been really defined yet. This is a lot rougher surface than this is, because this is going to be outside the knife. But this gives our epoxy and everything else a lot more, something really to hang on to, because the epoxy will go down to about 2 microns worth of definition, and when you've got 100 microns there, that's a lot of tooth for that to hang on to. The epoxy that we use is a diglycidyl ether of bisphenol A.
Say that again?
Diglycidyl ether of bisphenol A.
Can you say that 5 times fast?
Diglycidyl ether of bisphenol A, diglycidyl ether of bisphenol A. Yeah. This is a real hammer. That's a sheet metal shear. This is some of our handle material. It's already cut up. This one's already been inletted. So we've already spent some time and effort and money on getting that inletted, cut down to size and squared off here. This is FR4. It's like G10. The FR stands for flame resistant. Really smack the hell out of this stuff. See, there's no dent, no damage.
Wow.
That's because it has a 79,000 PSI compressive yield strength, and it's flame resistant. This is a true aerospace grade material.
That's amazing.
And the reason I use this is because I used to be a rocket scientist. I
Yeah.
was the senior material scientist for the American Rocket Company. You can literally bounce a 9mm round off this stuff, like 124 grain full metal jacket.
As fast as a
It'll-
9mm bullet is.
It'll spall it just
Yeah.
a little bit, but it won't penetrate it. As far as a durable handle material, this is the single most durable handle material in the world. And it's also got 1,000 volts per mil worth of dielectric strength. So the way we build our handles around our tangs where there's no exposed metal, that means that the electricity would have to arc through free air to get to your skin if you cut through something, because it's not going to go through this at 1,000 volts per thousandth of an inch worth of dielectric standoff. One of the reasons I do that is because I got killed one time cutting through a power cable. I got resuscitated. I was dead for about 7 minutes. It took them a while to get me going again.
Damn.
But yeah, it really screwed me up. I'm a little better now. Okay, so that was the handle material, and we've got several colors, types, shades of it. It's all essentially the same material, stuff that is, black and green laminate, red and black laminate. We've got Arizona Coyote kind of laminate. This is what the blank would look like. There's actually 2 blanks here. The guard will have a slot in it, so the guard goes on here like that.
Yeah, I see.
With the blade sticking out here and the tang immersed in the body of this. And that entire thing will be filled and smeared with the epoxy. And we use a 2-component epoxy. It's made by 3M. It's incredibly tough stuff.
People ask me all the time, why am I paying so much for a knife? Well, it's because the good knives are made with amazing materials. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And it makes a difference.
99% of this is done by hand. All the handles, end up on a cart over here, and, I end up hand cutting the handle contours. Okay, and then they go over to my grinders, and I hand grind the handles. And then they come back over here, and we use, a specialized flap wheel and a fuzz wheel like this, and a pad sander to final finish the handles after they're hand ground. So, this gets a piece of 100 grit sandpaper on it, and then, that's the final thing that we do to the handles. There, and then we take them over and bead blast them.
Yeah.
And the bead blasting, when I bead blast it, you've got all this layers of fiberglass, and there's epoxy as the matrix that holds it all together. But it kind of blows the epoxy out of the softer areas where the glass isn't, so you end up with kind of a waffle texture finish that's very grippy. This is our flagship knife. It's a seal attack. It's got the black FR4 handle, hard chromed. You can see the temper line on the blade. So our blade is 62 Rockwell down here, and it's about 52 to 54 throughout the rest of the tang, spine, all the rest of the area. And that makes for a very, very tough blade. The one guy, he's a special forces major who recently retired, but he's been shot twice in his knife.
No kidding.
Yeah, and the knife saved him both times. One was with a 7.62 by 39 round, and the other time was with a 5.45 by 39 round. He's got like little marks on the knife, but he sleeps with that knife.
Wow.
He'll never go anywhere without it. This is our Mad Dog attack sheath. I designed this in early 1992. It's all Kydex. It's all one piece, and we use stainless steel rivets these days. It's got dual retention. In fact, this is the only sheath that has ever been characterized as being suitable for parachute jumping by all of the U.S. military forces. And it's waterproof.
Nice.
We warranty the sheaths for 5 years. The knives themselves have a lifetime warranty against any defects in materials or construction. We don't warranty against things like, abuse, neglect, stupidity, destructive testing, and all that. We've got over 150 different models. If you count serration variations, thickness variations, handle variations, and all that, it goes well over 200 models. I'll take you over and show you our wall of patterns here. Well,
these are a lot of different models. So somebody can actually call up and say, I want this model with this and this and this, put the different options together and get the knife they want.
Let's say that they want a Resine 2000.
Okay.
It's a 9-inch Resine style Bowie pattern. Then choose your handle color, choose your finish, stuff like that. We can do, a combat finish. We can do, our standard finish, which is what I showed you on that attack a few minutes ago. And, we also do mirror finished.
Wow.
Yeah. This has a coating on the blade.
Now this is what the ferret got into you.
Yeah, this is called this is our Sutabi sword. His big brother is over there too. Probably about an $8,000 blade when it's done. I'll tell you, one of our biggest sellers, this knife, which is the Bearcat. This is a 5.5-inch blade. It's 3/16-inch stock. That's my own personal knife. It's got the black and green handle on it, which
that feels really good.
Like I was saying,
man,
the way that handle feels, you can work all day with that and never raise a blister anywhere. This is all precision ground flat stock. It's completely decarb free when we get it. It's ground size shape, and it's completely spheroidized and annealed. So it's in the optimal condition for cutting it out and grinding it. And then we have a very cautious heat treating process here. So we know exactly what's going on with the steel. And the heat treat on any given steel is every bit as important as the quality of the steel.
Oh, absolutely.
And again, when I'm selectively tempering this stuff and all that, again, a very cautious process. And then, even then, sometimes I screw up.
Yeah.
You see this? In the third thing, there's a crack in that tooth. Okay, that's because I screwed up. But, okay, with any other steel, any other kind of heat treatment, what would happen if I flex this blade?
Yeah, snap.
Yeah, what's this? Nothing up my sleeves, except my arms. Okay, like I said, this blade is defective. I keep it around only so I can show off how tough these knives are, even if they've been damaged. This is 20 thousandths of an inch thick here, and it's 62 Rockwell. This is steel on a vise, right? I'm taking chunks out of that. See any damage there?
Wow.
No, you don't, because there isn't any. Okay, and we've still got the crack in the third tooth there. So now I'm going to put this in the vise, nothing up my sleeves, and flex this. Still true. All that, and you would expect that to crack. But because of the way I heat treat these, that crack's not going to propagate. When I'm grinding, I have to dip the blades once in a while in this water tank here to
keep it nice and cool
them off. So I spray some simple green flavored water on here, and that breaks the surface tension. So every time I change grits, I'm going to do that again. So I go from a heavy grit, 60 grit, we want all that to sink to the bottom of the tank.
So your grit doesn't float on the top of the water.
Right.
You want to sink
you
down
don't
to the
pick
bottom.
up wild grit and put it on a finer belt, and it starts tracking, leaving pecker tracks all over what you're trying to make more finished. This is the Cubitron 2, 60 grit, and we're going to put it on our machine. Smooth that down. Make sure it's tracking good. Once this is up to full speed, it's going to be doing about 80 miles an hour. This is a Manitou model blade, and this is hardened stock, and it's been ground down to 60 grit. So that's the kind of, and it's also been bead blasted, but that's about the finish you can expect off of a 60 grit belt. So I'm going to show you just a little bit of grinding with that seal attack there. This is to keep, since the belt's going to be turning this way, it'll actually keep throwing sparks off in this direction. But since all the sparks are going this way, that's why I've got the spark resistant glove only on my left hand. I don't need one over here. And since we're doing a full height flat ground blade, you know, the important rule is that, you know, what thou doest to one side of the blade, so shalt thou do to the other side of the blade.
Absolutely.
And that's how you get symmetry. So that's the basic grinding technique. Normally we have 2 salt pots in here. This one is for 01, specifically set up and programmed for that. But as you can see, right now the salt is solid. It's hard as a rock in here. Okay, but when this thing gets up to 1500 degrees Fahrenheit, it's liquid and glowing orange. Sink a blade in there until it's completely isothermal at temperature. Then we take it out of there, we put it in the quench tank here, oil quench, and then after the oil quench, it goes into here. This is just water, and this is hardened, you know, polymerized oil. Clean off the salt and as much oil as we can off the blade. The blades will go in here and we'll temper them for a couple of hours. As they come out of that quench and go into the water, you know, they're going to be about 65 Rockwell.
Yeah.
And brittle. You know, they're not impossible to break, but they're very difficult to break. You have to really be trying to break one. This is one of our Patriot Tomahawks. It's all hand ground, selectively tempered, so it's hardened all the way through, unlike commercial axes, and makes it a lot tougher. And this one's designed to be thrown if you want to. It's got a 18-inch FR4 hand ground handle. These go for about $2,400. This is a War Dog 2. Okay, this is our Zaragoza Bowie. Got a Type 3 choil, selectively tempered. This is a 9-inch Taiho, black and green handle, and these haven't been sharpened yet. That's about all the fresh stuff I've got.
Very cool.
Okie doke.
All right, so we're back where we started from.
Yeah, you've gone full circle through the whole shop. You've seen all of our dirty secrets and met the dogs. And
Yeah.
any final questions?
Yeah, how long until you guys get into your new space?
We're working on doing that now. As fast as we can get this stuff moved and plugged in, that's how long it'll take. It's probably going to be 4 to 6 weeks because we have to do things incrementally.
Well, I really appreciate y'all having me out. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. It's a pleasure meeting you.
It's a pleasure seeing both of you out here.
Bye, Mad Dog Knives.
Yes.
Buy Mad Dog Knives. If
And
they want to
War
reach
Dogs.
you.
And War Dogs.
And War Dogs. Where do they reach you at? How do they get in touch with you? How do they see your knives online?
MadDogKnives.com, MilesWells.com.
Arizona Custom Knives.
Arizona
and
Custom
you
Knives
can reach
is
us
a big dealer.
directly at sales@maddogknives.com.
And don't forget to go to our website, bcknife.com, or go to our store there in Midland, Texas, if you ever get out to the Permian Basin. We'd love to see you in the store. Tell everybody there I said hello if I'm not there. And this is going to go to editing now, I guess. I appreciate it. For Mad Dog Knives, I'm Richard Steinberg, making knives here in Utah. Till next time, see you then.
Hasta la bye-bye.